Let's remember this one thing, logarithms are awesome. And we're gonna dive into the power property of logarithms today. And I'm gonna write it out formally, and then we're gonna make a little bit of sense from it. So the logarithm power property just simply states that if I have log base b, and I have x and an a up here in the exponent, that just simply means that, hey, I've got a times log base bx. Essentially, all I'm doing is taking that a, throwing it down in the front, and putting multiplication on there, and that is the exponent attached to that value of x. So let's make sense of it, because remember that logarithms are simply finding exponents. So this guy is an exponent, this is an exponent, and let's go ahead and make sense of this statement. So if I was to start with the idea of 3 to the 4th squared. Let's go back to the exponent properties. We know that we would just take that 4 and that 2 and we would multiply them. So 3 to the 4 times 2, which is just simply 3 to the 8th power. Okay, and we know that property, and you should know that from a lot of math in the past. So what we'll do now is we'll just rewrite it. Let me write log base 3 81 squared. Okay, so now you're asking yourself, well, where'd that 81 come from? Well, let's just look at it. 3 to the 4th is 81, and I just brought down the squared right there. According to our product property, all we have to do is take that exponent and shoot it up to the front. And so let's just write it down like that real quick. I'm going to take that 2, and I'm going to move it right up to the front. So I'm going to write 2 log base 3 of 81. Now check it out. We have to go back and make sense of what the log statement means. This statement right here just simply says 3 to the x power equals 81. It is finding an exponent. That's what it does every single time. Well, what do I know? 3 to the what power is 81? I know that 3 to the 4th power is 81. So this statement, finding the exponent, is just simply 4 times 2, which is, by the way, 8. And guess what? If I go log base 3, 81 squared, let's go over to Desmos and just type that sucker in. And guess what? Log base 3, 81 squared is also 8, just based off of Desmos. Boom. Therefore, providing some evidence that all we have to do is, if a logarithm has an exponent, we just shoot it out to the front because of it is a power to a power, and you multiply exponents. So let's do an example, a couple of examples of this, and where we expand these out a little bit. So the best ones I've got involve other properties right now. So I'm going to take this first one where it says log of x divided by y to the 6th power. You're going to notice that we have the quotient property in there. And of course, we have an exponent in there, so we probably have the power property in there as well. So I'm going to always start with getting to those quotients. So I'm going to write log of x minus log of y to the 6th power. Now remember that if there is not a base, there is no base there, it is base 10 is what it's implying. Okay, and then there's one more thing we want to do to completely expand this. This is done, check, but this guy right over here still has this power right there. That's that power property we were just talking about. So I'm going to rewrite this log of x base 10, remember, minus, I'm going to take that power 6 and I'm going to bring it up to the front log base 10 y. And I could do that again. Let's do one more. We'll use this one. In this case, you can notice we have multiplication, so that is our product property. And then it looks like we also have our exponent property in this one, our power property in this one. Okay, at this point, you're going to notice, hey, this is kind of funky. Well, if you remember back to those exponent rules, we can rewrite this. We can say log a squared times b squared. We can bring that power in there if we want to. Okay, and then from there we can say, okay, well, let's go ahead and divide it up with the product property. So I could write, okay, well, log a squared plus log b squared, okay? And at that point, we can use our power property, which is taking those squareds and shooting it out to the front, which is just 2 log of a plus 2 log of b. Now, there's other ways of doing this problem, but that is definitely one way to get that done. All right, y'all have a great day. That is the power rule, power property of logarithms. Enjoy your day.